call meeting for County Council on May 13th. We had it at 11 o'clock here at the Civic Center, and this is our first meeting actually in a couple of months since March. And you know, with the COVID-19 thing going on, we had it at Civic Center. People were spaced out. The council was spaced out, and we did it in a safe and responsible way, but things with the county needed to move forward, and so we had a number of items on the agenda, some of them pending from a couple of months ago, and some new items. And so to sort of outline what we went over, one of the items that was new was an ordinance that involved tiny houses. So in District 2, there's been some efforts to build tiny houses as affordable housing solutions. Everybody's in favor of affordable housing solutions, but what needed to be done here was to determine sort of a definition of what was going on, because in any time we don't want to have unintended consequences. So some folks came from the community and said, hey, take a longer look at this to make sure that you're implementing it the correct way. The councilwoman from District 2 said, let's take 6 months to look at it longer and put a moratorium on it so that we can engage the right way. So that was a positive thing from council, and so we moved forward on that. And then we went into something that goes back a couple of months, and that was a Second Amendment sanctuary ordinance. And that's garnered a lot of feedback from a bunch of different groups. But what we outlined was an affirmation from Anderson County that our citizens support the Second Amendment, that we support its representation from the Constitution. And we had a working committee on that made up of citizens, law enforcement, council members, to articulate that in the right way, so that the citizens of our county's views on that were represented. So that passed and was very positive. And then we went into a number of economic development ordinances, and that is or resolutions. That is more important now than ever, because as we've seen with COVID-19, it's had an effect on our small businesses and our communities. But fortunately, we have things on the docket. People are investing money in Anderson. They're building new industrial space. They're building new projects, housing projects. So as we continue to rebuild after with South Carolina opening, this county council will be proactive supporting those. And we have probably one of the best economic development departments in the state. And so they are still working day and night to move forward on that. We then went into a couple of items that involved resolutions to accept grant funding. There was some new grant funding for Green Pond Landing. And then we went into what we called a continuing resolution on the budget. So you've probably heard this term CR on the federal level before, but without us being able to have budget meetings, we have gone into doing a CR. It's a continuing resolution to fund county budget at operating levels moving forward, because there's a little bit of uncertainty of what money is going to come from the state as revenues are down with COVID-19, but we're taking a hard look at the county budget to make sure that we keep everything straight. From there, we went into some basic bids with county contracting, audit services, asphalt services, and park services. And then we accepted some roads into the subdivision and ended like we always do with some allocations to some nonprofits working locally, comments from citizens, and comments from council members. So very positive all along. We're going to be getting back to normal county business, and we're going to be moving forward. But let me encourage you, we have absentee voting going on. It's going to be going on today at the Powdersville Library. It's going to be going on tomorrow and the next day here at the Civic Center. And so please get out and exercise your right to vote. You can do it safely and exercise your right to do so. So from here, we're going to move on to the next county council meeting. I don't know that we have it set yet. We may have to make certain precautions to make sure we do it safely, but we'll be moving on with the county business. And as always, we appreciate citizen comment.
At a county council meeting today, talk about the safety measures y'all took to have it out here at the Civic Center.
Well, we worked in cooperation with Lieutenant David Baker, who's an emergency services manager. And as you can tell, all the seats were at least 6 feet apart, if not more. Council was 6 feet apart. County attorney and me, we were 6 feet apart. We took everybody's temperature when they came into the building and offered other sanitary services. And so I think we did it as safely as humanly possible. We also had masks available for people who wanted to have masks. And one of the things I'm most happy about is that we had a real council meeting and not try to do a video council meeting. So this way our citizens could attend, our citizens could ask questions, they could feel like they were in a council meeting instead of some television show, which I have a lot of problem with doing that. And I know in some cases it's just absolutely impossible to do otherwise. But I feel good, and hopefully we'll be getting back to normal, but it won't be in the next week or two.
But this will be a template going forward for a little while.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the legislative delegation is going to have their meeting here and use this same setup. And we may have another council meeting here just depending on how the counts go.